the longest tenured collector set from the U.S. Mint for us collectors is, well, the one we want to logically go to is the proof set, because we love those beautiful proof coins, right? But that started in 1950, so 3/4 of a century right now. But the set that was brought out first was a couple of years before that, 1947. And over the last 3/4 of a century, there's been some great sets, state quarters, national parks. But the decade that I love is the decade with lots of stories, and that's the 1970s. So tonight we have it, 70 to 79, the decade in uncirculated sets. Look at our price, everybody. That's $149.95 divided by 10 sets means we're under $15 a set. And that's just to start the conversation. Now, let's have some fun going through all the details, because the reason why I love this decade is the details. The bookend starts with 1970. Remember the 1970 uncirculated set? It's the last silver Kennedy, and it's only made in this set. So if you're putting together a Kennedy half-dollar collection, that 70D is the key. Still is today, and it only comes in that set. My competition sell the 70D by itself for $60.50. Then you have 71 and 72, which are the first clad sets in the series. But in 1973, we started something totally different. The Eisenhower dollars are now in the uncirculated sets. Now, I do know, and you know, that the Eisenhower started in 1971, but we have no idea why the U.S. Mint didn't add them. So in 73 through 78, those 6 sets, they are the only sets in U.S. history to have what they call the jumbo dollar. The Morgan, the piece were 38.1 millimeters. This is also a 38.1 millimeter. Jumbo dollar sets. 6 in all history. And they're in this decade. And then when you get to the very bottom shelf, all the way to the right, you're going to notice our first ever mini dollar. The Susan B. Anthony is introduced in 1979. A wonderful idea. The cause was great. It's just, it looked like a quarter. It was the same color as a quarter. Everybody else in the world had a color change on the dollar when they stopped making paper. What do? We make it look like a quarter and we keep the paper. That's why the dollar never really worked. It's not rocket science. We just sometimes make it feel that way. Now, you just noticed also that in 1975, 1976, the Eisenhower, our bicentennial coins, are dated the same, 1776, 1976. If you look at the mint set here for the quarter and the half dollar, for 75 and 76, you can't tell them apart. But you can easily tell the difference on the Eisenhower dollar. The very first year, 1975, they call it Type 1. The reverse is flat, like somebody wrote United States of America, $1 in crayon. And then they tightened it up in 1976. They call that Type 2, the detail. And those are also present, and we show you them here. So in these collections, you have 12 Eisenhower dollars, 6 years times 2. You have 2 Susan B. Anthony dollars, 79 P&D. You have 19 half dollars, the 70D silver, and then 18 copper clads. You notice right there, a few of these sets, the early sets, have 3 Lincoln cents. And that's because San Francisco struck circulating cents up till the bicentennial. So the 1974 set will have 3 cents. So 71, 2, 3, 4. 5 of the sets will have a third cent added to it. You notice the top is red, the top is blue, differentiating Denver on the one side and Philadelphia on the other. You're also noting the outer envelope these came in, or what they call version 1 or series 1 of uncirculated sets. From 68 all the way through 81, they all had white outer envelopes. 1984 is when they changed that to the color pack, and it's evolved from that point forward over the last quarter century. But this is the decade of decades. Again, going back to 1947, we've had a lot of great sets. but only a couple of them can boast significance in a series. The 70D, the Kennedy half dollar is 60 years old. And the most significant Kennedy was made in 1970. It's not only silver, right? It's also the lower mintage. There's the flat United States of America. And you're going to notice here coming up on the 76 set, the much more detailed United States of America, $1. So the half dollars, if you just pull them out, my competition, the 70D is $60.50, as I referenced. And then the other 18 range from $7 to $8 a piece, which means 18 times 7 is $1.25. You're looking at $1.70 just for the half dollars. Well, the beautiful Eisenhower dollars are really the story. There's only 6 sets in U.S. mint history, still to this day, that have that big dollar in it. And these are those 6 sets. They're in this decade. The Eisenhowers, the 12 of them, 73 to 78 times 2, a P and a D. They sell those for $246. So the Kennedys and the Eisenhowers added together sell for a significant premium, way north of $400. Heck, the sets themselves, everybody, the sets themselves, set by set from our competition, is $362. We're $200 less. And they're agreeing with us. These are the most significant of all the uncirculated sets. The decade that has all the oomph to it. It starts crazy with the 70D. It ends crazy with the first mini dollar, and all the big good stuff is in the middle. Guys, we got to put a 1-minute clock up. We're getting down to close to single digits. We got like 13 collections left, as I can see right now. A lot of people on the phones, and thank you for that. So again, uncirculated sets have been made since 1947. They still make them today. It is the top-end uncirculated coin from the U.S. Mint for us collectors. A couple of these sets are pretty unique. That 1970 set, again, the last year they made a silver Kennedy, the 70D, only one coin that year, and it's only in this set, which is unique. And then in this decade, you have the Eisenhower series. I have no idea, nor does anybody else want to talk about why they didn't make these sets with the Eisenhower in 71 and 72. But they did make 6 sets, the only 6 sets in U.S. Mint history that can lay claim to the big dollar in an uncirculated set. Remember, the piece dollar ended in 35, way before they started making these sets for the American public. The last set, the bookend, is the first year of the Susan B. Anthony. Add them all up. We're hundreds under. We're under $15 a set, everybody. That's just value written all over it. Give us a call.